So many other next many issues are there.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Angela so far. Let me correct an impression before we go back. NOC architecture has gone beyond the locality where she specified. We elaborate how far NOC architecture has gone, and it's something that has been recognized internationally. So that's by the way. I'm not privy to the work, and unfortunately, I was not there when the work was done. The first question that I have is, what is the end product of your work? So that's the first, and I think it also builds on what he was saying about trying to find out where the work will land. In your introduction, you cited Baker and Lopez, and you were saying the promotion of sustainable architecture in rural areas. And I'm saying sustainable architecture is more in rural areas than it is in the urban centers. So I think you should look for other citations that will flow with the work that you've done. Let me also say something that maybe because I've not read the work, so I will not. Suddenly, we're talking about mud, and then I want to understand where the ginger comes in. From what is before me, I try to connect. I don't seem to see the flow. You know, you have to flow into whatever, so that flow is missing. Theoretical framework, I'm going with the PowerPoint presentation, that is what is before me. So I said indoor environmental quality is a well-researched area, and there are a lot of newer theories which you may want to consult. I may suggest also that you just pick those ones that are recent, because it's an evolving area. So there are lots and lots. So forget about all those 1976, 2008. It will not help you, because things have evolved beyond that as it is. Looking at the scope of the study, I say the scope does not align with the research questions aimed and objective. That's from what I'm seeing here. I'm not seeing that alignment. It's missing because the scope is talking about perception about ginger and things like that, and then what the aim is and what the objectives are and what the title is does not marry. So I think if you are able to do that, you'll be able to advance this work if you are able to do that. Okay, the literature review, I was also saying the same thing, that more of the current what you are citing. So I think that is some of the things that I'm able to pick up from this PowerPoint presentation. And of course, I saw these figures, and they were written as observations. So I said, if they don't even have titles, so I don't have a reason to even make comments, because it's looking vague. So this, because we will not be happy if you just gloss over it and don't tell me what we have seen from the work that you have presented. Otherwise, she has done a lot of work. So you need to just be focused. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Well done. A lot of efforts into this work. Having some side discussion from time to time concerning it, and I'm connected to the work somehow. This means that now that I did this, I wrote I worked on research that has to do with gas traditional housing forms and tenure. I was citing Timothy Hussein, who was written on thief architecture, and yes, and then Dungo has also written on the settlements and housing. So I've written on the gas one, and then I've looked at it. So when I started reading the work, it was bringing back a lot of memories to me, and I said, well, I need to do more to contribute to the work so that I've been working in the area of housing. And so immediately I saw it, I know mud. Since it is not used for making pot, or any other thing. But this time around, we're talking about residential use. It needs to be for what? Houses. So I started thinking and looking at the work, but I discovered that you've not mentioned what you call the SDGs, because we're in the era of the what? SDGs. Now, SDGs presently there are about 17 of them. And in one of them, definitely you find when you locate those elements that we are talking about that are interacting with your work. And it is SDG number 11. And that 11 also has its own targets. And the target that we're talking about is specifically this target 11.c, where the deputy did mention sustainable agriculture is found in the rural areas. When you look at that particular scene, it talks about houses, it talks about local environments in rural areas. So it may be good if you take your time to go through it. It will make the work fantastic. It will solve a lot of the questions that is being raised concerning the issue of perception and other things. So after looking at that, I now came to the issue of the statement of the problem, just as others have said. I got lost, but all hope is not lost, just as I have said. When you look at the SDGs and you try to couch into that SDG, you need to extract the thing that you need to talk about that will give you a soft landing. We've talked about the start questions and the hypothesis. The research objectives. I discovered that in the topic you mentioned northeastern Nigeria, but when you came to this place, you are not mentioning the northeastern Nigeria. Northwest. Northeastern Nigeria.
Northwestern.
Okay, northwestern. Yes, northwestern Nigeria. It's not added to the top. And the objective number 4. Objective number 4, I know based on my studies of classification of Bloom, for you to be able to pick a particular phrase that will help you to actually analyze, evaluate and what have you. And also you using the word gauge, the opinion of NOC community. So how are we going to, how do we intend to gauge it? That's the question I'm asking here. How do we intend to gauge? Yes.
Very symbolic word there.
Okay. So please just check those phrases so that you do not land yourself into confusion. And then when it came to the area of significance of the story, actually I'm going to write about significance of the story just like I've said. It's not adequate, but it is always hinged on 3 things. 1, policy. 2, practice. And 3, academia. So if you can develop 3 different paragraphs, it will go a long way in clarifying the significance of the work. What is IEE going to do to practitioners, architects, and also the policy maker goes in the House of Assembly and what have you, and then academia. If somebody picks this work should actually give a lot of meaning to the person's work. Okay. It has been mentioned, it's going by the guides, EG guide. Theoretical and conceptual framework usually is situated in chapter 1. But in the course of my going through, I stumbled on conceptual in chapter 2 of the work. Dean has mentioned that, so you can always bring them back and try to bring it. But my worry is that I was struggling for you to mention a specific theory. That I can say, okay, this theory is what has given explanation to this issue of perception on residential housing and so on and so forth. So I was struggling with that. I think you can do better if you take your time to do that. Then, while you are busy talking about theoretical, I give a framework here that is just standing on the screen. Number 1. And I looked at it and I tried to make meaning, or I tried to make sense out of it. And I started asking questions, is this your final framework or is it a theoretical framework? Look at this. It's just hanging. So look at it back, look at it again, and look at the variables and see how you can adjust that. At this point of the work, it is only going to be an informed theoretical framework. By the time you now go to your literature review, you go to your methodology, it will aid you. You will garner a lot of information from the field, then you will now make it robust and standard so that it can be used as a tool. You get my point? Okay. So let me also move very fast. In your scope, it has to be two ways: area scope and topical scope. Now, when we look at the material in question here more, I know I've stumbled on a material that was written by a trainee in this university about sources of building material. Sources of building material, it is either foreign or local. And mud happens to be a locally sourced building material. So if you step down onto that, you are laying a very solid foundation to make your work stand. Yes, it is locally sourced building material, but it can be enhanced. We're not talking about the enhancement now. Up until we get to the point whether it is actually sustainable or not. Okay, so you now say, I'm suggesting that it should be what? Enhanced. You have contributed to the work. When it comes to literature review, take your time to look at it objective or question by question so that you can be able to come up, because of it, I got lost. Now, let me give you a suggestion. In your literature review, what you do is that for each of the objectives, you pick it, define it, the various contributors, define it, what have they, attempt to explain it, then you apply it. Are you hearing me, man? You define it, you explain it, and you apply it. While you are doing that, you discover that you hear your voice. The head of the department architecture said it is too textual, you just take this one, say this one. What is the healer saying?
What is the introduction?
We want to hear your voice for each of your objectives, so that it will be that you see, by the time you are contributing, you belong to a specific school of thought that when you talk, they know that this person is going to talk from this direction in this area. Let's go to methodology. Okay, on page 53 also, there is one framework that is not, I don't know the direction of this framework, that one. You can see this one, this specific one. It doesn't have direction. And so I kept struggling. There's a human comfort, there's environmental factors, like that. So I was just like, where am I starting? So just try and see how we can go. If it's an adopted one, no arrows, yes. Page